Okay, here we are. We are back on A Life by You. Um,
Yay!
yeah,
Happy Wednesday.
on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. We record on Wednesdays and we release the episodes on Wednesdays, so it works out perfectly, actually.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
yeah, it's all full circle.
Yes.
So, before we got on today, I was talking with Jennifer and I was sharing with some topics on, what should we talk about today? And one thing that popped up for me that I felt that would be helpful to everybody is how to protect your energy.
Yes.
How to protect all that negative shit from entering your life. Let's just be honest
Yes. Oh my goodness.
and be
That's huge.
real.
Yeah.
Because negative things are going to come your way whether you have control over them or not, and it's just like, how do you regroup, get it back together, get laser
hmm
focused and push through,
hmm
and still maintain, I don't want to say positivity, but
Peace. That's
peace.
awesome. Because you don't
Yeah.
always have to be positive. Not everything's a positive moment. Let's
No,
be real.
right.
So yeah, no, maintaining peace. There's so much chaos and noise and stuff going on right now. I mean, I can't even I could, but I'm not going to go into it. Um, and I have been asked that question as well. How do you maintain your energy? And listen, you guys, we're not talking about just negativity on the external. We're talking about even negativity in your own family.
Mm.
Holidays come up, family members come over, people you just don't jive with, and you know they're negative and they don't have the kind of same mindset or viewpoint as you do in life. How do you kind of go back to a place of peace once you have those interactions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for me, well, I just don't deal with certain people. I'm like, I'm too
But that's
truthful.
important.
Um,
But I think that's an important thing to talk about.
yeah,
I mean, you have boundaries,
I have, yes, I have
very
ridiculous
healthy
boundaries.
boundaries. Yeah.
Especially right now, I'm protecting my energy at all costs because I absorb more than the average.
Mm,
And I will take on somebody's stuff in a minute, and I don't want to. And I can definitely empathize with people that I don't even know because I can put myself in their shoes and I can feel their pain and all that kind of stuff. And I'm learning how to not do that as much as I have in the past. And it's not easy, especially if you're an empath or a light worker. You're just going to take on people's stuff. So,
mhm,
for me personally, I try to avoid negativity at all costs. If I cannot, what happens after I interact with the negative person? I will do a quick meditation. I will be like, that's not my stuff. I'm going to give it back to that person and I move on. It is my dog. Can you guys hear my dog?
okay, keep going.
He's all barking. It was so quiet in my house and now the dog's barking. I release whatever somebody's given me. Now, I know a lot of people would be like, well, how you can't, do you just say it? How do you do it? Before, I would have to take an Epsom salt bath to get all the
Mhm,
toxicities out and kind of do a toxic release. You can get into a sauna, a hot sauna, and release those energies as well.
mhm,
Otherwise, if you're a person who's kind of been on your spiritual journey, you just go into a quick meditation. You kind of just remove, okay, thank you. No, thank you. That's yours. I give it back. And you keep moving about your day.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
how do you get rid of yours?
Whew, for me, I haven't been as strong of my boundaries, if I'm being honest. There are some folks that I probably need to just cut off.
You're out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, but um, I'm an empath as well. So I've done therapy. I'm also on a spiritual awakening, I feel like right now. Self-awareness journey, whatever you want to call it.
hmm
So I also know I believe my solar plexus is, from what I've learned in my human design, is
Yeah.
open. So I'm constantly just taking on people's energy. So if someone's like excited, I get excited too.
Yeah.
If someone's just like womp womp, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
And it's real. So I've also even heard the term highly sensitive people. I'm
Mm.
definitely a sensitive person.
Yes.
So I think it all intersects. So the first part of it is just being aware of it, at least for me, that I end up taking on this energy really easily.
Hmm.
And checking myself internally. So when it's positive, it's not a problem.
It's good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but even then, I have to be careful because I'll go down the rabbit hole. I'll
Okay.
go like in deep on someone's idea. I think we've
Oh,
talked about this. I'll be like,
yeah.
yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. And then once I'm away from them
Yeah.
and I kind of calm my ass down,
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool in the moment, but now, not so much.
Perfect example. Remember, we were going to do those meetup groups and
Yes.
we got all hyped about it. And then you called me like a couple weeks ago. You're like, no, Jen, I don't think I want to do the meetup groups. I think it's going to be a little bit too much. And I was like, oh, okay. But we
No, and
were
I had to
feeding,
be honest.
yeah, we were feeding off each other's positive energy and like, oh, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. But yeah, I appreciated that.
And I had to be honest because I also realize even when I'm with strangers, I'll get like I call it that momentum. Like you feed off of that,
Yeah.
which feels good. It's like being at a concert or,
Yeah.
being, working out or whatever it may be. You just feel that collective energy.
Yes.
And so you can thrive in that, but it also can kind of pull you down
Yeah.
or pull you in a different direction that you may not really want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to have these checkpoints. And it's not like I have like specific ones, but I have to just kind of take a step back
Yeah.
and decompress and say, is this, am I feeling this way or am I just taking on someone else's energy?
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly
was
what it
I
was.
just excited for them or am I excited to do this? Or
Right.
am I genuinely sad or I'm just sad for them? So,
Right.
I have to kind of check myself because otherwise codependency, I've gone down that rabbit hole.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God.
Yeah.
And it's still lingers. It's still there. I'm not gonna lie. I still easily get codependent on certain family members. Um, but again, it's just I do a lot of checking in. I've been journaling a little bit more.
Nice.
I talk to myself. Not gonna
All the
lie.
time.
I,
All the time. Yeah.
I talk to myself, and then I just kind of give myself I pause. Like I don't react right away. Although, and we talked about this on the previous episode with human design as a splenic manifester, I typically already know. Like my gut already told me.
Right.
So sometimes I'll let that linger a little bit, but I typically already know if I want to do something or not. It's just more or less. Sometimes I'm afraid of disappointing someone, kind of like with those meetups. I was like,
Yeah.
uh, I probably had a lingering in my head, like, well, maybe we shouldn't, maybe I don't want to necessarily do that, but I know she's
Yeah.
excited and I'm excited for her.
Right.
So yeah, I do a lot of checking in on my own gut to protect my energy. But I'm also just very careful, even like with those events. I have to be careful with just whom I'm around. I can't necessarily, not that I don't want to make friends with strangers or anything, but
Oh my gosh, she's so snobby. No, I'm just kidding.
but I have to just be careful about I have to be careful about whom I am in proximity about because again, I just know now, and it's just something that I've realized I've had all my life. I end up taking on that collective
Yeah.
energy. And then that ends up just running all through my house, know?
Oh, yes. And let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Cleansing the energy in your home.
Mm,
So
so
important,
necessary.
right? So you can
Mhm.
sage your house. And just remember when you sage your house, people to open the windows because you want that energy to go out. You don't want to
Yeah.
just burn the smoke in your house and think that it has gone. It needs to get out.
Mhm.
So, and that goes back to like if you're having events at your home and somebody maybe kind of had some bad energy and you want to get it out of your home, go ahead and get it out. Family members, again, we can't always choose our family and how we interact with them. So that's a big thing. If a family member's come over and you're just like, ugh, and you're still feeling kind of that heaviness on you, sage yourself, sage your house, and get rid of it, you know?
Yeah, I think saging is a big thing, and cleansing your home. Sometimes
Mhm.
even getting away is helpful. I've taken a
Yeah.
couple of solo trips this year, which I'm really thankful for, and that just allows me to reset and protect my own energy.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I plan on incorporating forever. Like I'm thankful, I got a great husband and he totally gets it. He gets his solo time.
Yeah.
So why not? And I think I love being alone. I actually love myself. In order for me to be my best self, I need time
Yep.
alone. Like I need to reset. And that doesn't necessarily mean I got to go get on a plane and go somewhere. That might be, I'm taking myself out on a lunch date or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But um, I have to have like intentional, purposeful time alone
Yeah.
in order to protect my energy, I think. And then moving my body, like intentionally moving,
Yeah.
um, that helps. I mean, that's, it generates all those happy hormones, the dopamine and
Serotonin
all
and
that, the serotonin and all
dopamine.
that good stuff.
Yeah, and plus
Yeah.
you have to get your chi, your energy force
Mhm.
moving. You can't stay
Mhm.
stagnant. So
I
that is
know.
definitely, and I know a lot of people don't like to work out. So just walking, walking
Mhm.
around your neighborhood, or it doesn't have to be strenuous.
No, have a dance party. I like having dance parties, and I do that with Lucky
Oh
often. Like,
yeah.
we'll put on some music or throw YouTube on, and it might be some Disney stuff or
Mm,
whatever, but, I'm moving with her, and again, I'm feeling the energy off of her,
yes.
which is, always
I
good.
know.
But
The little light beam baby.
yeah. But no, I think you're absolutely right. Like, most people don't like working out. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But it always feels good. You never regret a
No,
workout.
not at all.
You never say, "Oh, I wish I didn't do that
No.
workout."
No, yeah, once you're done, you're like, "Okay, I'm glad I came and I went and I did it." But it's
Right.
just getting there,
Right.
doing it during the process, and then, after getting to the promised land. I
Mhm.
also think massages are really good,
Yes. Oh my
um,
god,
to
yes.
get those lymph nodes and the toxicity that's in those out. And I think a lot of people, I had a conversation with some girlfriends the other day, and I remember one of them talking about kind of just stuffing down their emotions and continuing on with
Mm.
life. And I don't think people realize that every cell in your body
Mm.
holds on to negativity.
Mm.
And that's how diseases are created, folks. you
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
so if you can get a massage, get those toxins out of your body, do a dry brushing. I'm going to start doing that,
Mm.
just kind of stimulating the skin cells and getting all that all helps your energetic body feel good and release. A lot of people don't do that.
Mhm. And I think there's so much intentionality when you end up either dry brushing or getting a massage or something to that effect, because you're telling the body this is a time to relax, and I'm
Yes.
giving back to you, and it's, I'm caring for you. And you also have someone who's trained and typically in tune with that. Like, I have a client, she's a massage therapist, and she really, I love the way that she, maybe should have her on the podcast, but she really comes about it from an energy level.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are we working on today, and working through that. So I think I'm a huge massage lover. I'm actually overdue for a massage. Now that you mentioned
Yeah.
that, I'm gonna book one for my birthday.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna book one for my birthday. But yeah, massages, I think, can be very
Hmm.
rejuvenating in terms of just
Yeah.
healing your body and your
And
mind.
energy gets stuck.
Um,
So,
it
and like you
does.
said, if they can help you, they could be like, "Oh, you're kind of stuck in this area," so they can get that flowing
Mm-hmm.
again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, so there's a book, and I'm gonna read it. Well, I don't read books; I listen to them now. But it's called "The Body Keeps the
Oh
Score,"
yeah.
and I think that's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
I started
Yeah, I'm gonna
reading it.
check
I
it
started
out.
reading that.
Y-
And
You
it's
did?
good.
Okay. Does it talk about
Yeah.
that?
No, it totally talks about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't express enough. You've got to work with your emotions. You have to let things
Mm,
out, whether that's
yes.
write it down, go hit a punching bag or
Mhm.
whatever. Don't ever stuff down your truth
Mhm.
and what you want to
Mm.
say. And I get it. Sometimes you
Hmm.
can't tell that person directly, but write it out
Or go to
or go to
therapy.
therapy. But I know a lot of
Go
people are
get you
like,
a
well, I can't
therapist.
afford that, especially if they're in this climate right now. People are scared to lose their
It's
jobs and
expensive.
this. So if you can't afford
Yeah.
therapy, which I understand because they're not cheap, therapists aren't, and a lot of
No.
them are booked, believe it or not. They're at
They are.
capacity.
Yeah, they
So,
are.
yeah, so
Yeah.
if you can write out what you want to say to that person, it's a release. It allows your body to release. If you can hit
Mm.
a punching
Hmm.
bag, if you can go out somewhere and scream at the top of your lungs,
Yes.
all
Or scream in
or
your
scream in your
pillow.
pillow.
I've done that. I actually had a practice where in my last mastermind, we had to scream in the pillow. It was like this
Yeah,
whole, and it was very therapeutic. Like
yeah.
and it's something I still practice
No,
to this
no,
day.
no,
Like
no,
it's a
no,
release.
no.
Yeah.
Um, this is all self-care.
Yeah.
Self-care isn't just going to the spa, sitting by the pool
Mm-mm.
drinking your mojito.
No.
Self-love is really getting down to the nitty-gritty and taking care of yourself and releasing those past traumas, that those negativities, those stories, those belief systems that you picked up
Mm-hmm.
from other people that are clearly not
Mm-hmm.
yours and you know they're not. Go on your gut. I know everybody has the gut instinct.
Mm-hmm.
um, and you have decided to go off of your journey and out of alignment with yourself to go in alignment with someone else or the world or whatever the case may be. So, doing these practices will allow you to get back on track with yourself. And it's a great release.
Yeah. No, I absolutely I agree with you 100%. And it's just you have to find what works
Yeah.
for you, and different moments just, require different things, but I think it's important I think the intentionality part is just really
Hmm.
important is that you decide I'm going to do this for me. And again, it may seem selfish, but it's not. Like you can't do all the things for everybody and their mama if you're not taking care of
Absolutely
yourself.
not.
And you're not going to be able to be strong enough to divert that negative energy and see through and be laser focused if you're not replenishing and renourishing
Hmm.
yourself.
Hmm.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned the self-care thing is like self-care is self-love, and it's not, like you said, all mimosas, and it ain't always pretty. Sometimes it's kind of ugly, screaming in the pillow,
Hmm.
crying.
Hmm. Or just
You
even
know what I
removing
mean?
yourself and really
Yeah.
getting to the core of who you are. Because as women, as a mom, as a wife, you already know, you know we're going to try to do stuff for our kids, our husband, and everything
Mhm.
else and everyone else before we actually take care of ourselves. But the bottom line is
Yep.
we have to take care of ourselves, and then we take care of our husbands, and then we take care of our children, and then we take care of our friends and extended family and all that other
Mhm.
kind of stuff. But if you're not okay with yourself and you're just going through life and you're hanging on by a thread and you're still taking care of other
Oh,
people, even though you think you're doing good, the energy that you're putting out is not. And you're going to become
I agree.
resentful. Okay.
Mhm.
It's going to become a burden. There's a whole other,
Mhm.
and now you projected that energy onto the person that you're trying to help. You don't think that
Yep.
they feel it? Oh, honey, they do.
They
So,
do. And it ends up showing up in everything else as well. We've
yes,
talked about this. Like even as you're trying to create things or
yes,
build things, or it starts extending, it becomes an extension of what you're putting
yeah,
out into the world. So whether, you're doing a photo shoot or you're writing
yeah,
something or you're negotiating something, if you're coming from it from a funky place, and again, it's not about being
yeah,
positive all the time. It's about
yeah,
being clear,
yeah,
in my opinion. If you're clear and at a peace, you know, at a stable
yeah.
level, because no one can be positive and happy all the damn time. That's a lot of energy.
It is a lot of
You know what
energy.
I
It
mean?
is. It is. It is. It is a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, I would love to be positive all the time. I would love for my world to be, we just talked about it, rainbows and sunshine all
I
the
don't
time.
know though.
But it's not going to happen.
I don't think I want to be happy all the time. I'm fine with being
Oh, I would love to
peaceful.
be happy all the time.
I actually I feel like the lows help amplify
Oh,
the highs, but
yes,
I'm
absolutely.
not to say that I want to welcome being
Yeah.
sad and depressed or anything like that. But if I'm always happy, I feel like it could
It's
kind
like
of
when
get
the
a
sun is shining all the time,
like,
people are like, I just want it to rain already. I'm tired of the sun all the time. We stop appreciating it so much,
right.
right?
You it could get boring. Yeah, you might not appreciate it as much. So, and I think that there is always light in the
Totally.
darkness. Like I think so that's where I think you find
That
that
balance.
balance, that homeostasis or whatever you want to call it, you know, I feel like to me the mecca is peace, if that
Peace
makes
to
sense.
me
Like
means
that's
happiness.
hmm, that's
Yes. To
interesting.
me, it's like, I'm
Yeah.
happy, I'm at peace, all is well.
Hmm. Peace for me means being able to pull myself from being low, but doesn't necessarily mean I'm all smiley and sunshine
Hmm.
and rainbows. It just means I can still see the beauty in the
Yeah.
darkness. I don't know if that
Well,
makes
I
sense.
think even if you're still happy, you can still see the beauty in the darkness.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. I just feel like happy can be so
Okay,
fleety
joy.
sometimes.
Joy is more consistent.
Joy.
Joy is
Okay,
more
joy.
consistent.
Sorry.
These terms that we
Yes.
give it, right?
But you're right. It is joy. I think joy can be
Yeah.
everlasting. You can have
Yeah.
joy when things are dark. You're absolutely right. So yes, okay,
Okay,
I want
let's
joy
talk
too.
about real
I'm with
quick. Let's talk about heaven,
you.
right?
Okay.
Everybody's
Oh,
goal, right, to go
yeah.
to heaven. I'm assuming because
Mm.
every day is going to be joyful, happy,
Mhm. Mhm.
sunshine,
Mhm. Mhm.
warm,
Mhm.
peace,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true.
Trying to
That's
create
true.
heaven on earth.
On earth. Yeah. Trying to and do you think that's achievable? With all the things and I have my own answer, but with all the things coming at you, all the negative shit hitting your
Yeah.
your bubble.
Well, I think that's the goal and what everybody's should be working on. I'm not saying everybody is working on it because
I
people
agree.
right now are in survival mode. And so when you're in survival mode, you don't really
Mm.
have time for that. You're just trying to survive, put food on the
No.
table, roof over the head, kids are
Yeah.
good, health, whatever. Um, but I think as we are growing as in humanity and all of these things are
Mm.
happening and we're shifting and consciousness is rising, I truly believe that that can happen. Most
Mm.
definitely.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And we've talked about this frequently. I feel like that there's an awakening happening with the world, especially this younger generation, and they are seeking
Mhm.
joy. You know, they're seeking everlasting joy and not trying to work towards it when they die. They're looking, you know, they
Yeah.
want it to
Now.
achieve it now. And I think that should be available to everyone. So, you know, mental health is a big thing for them. You know, taking care of this earth is a big
Yes.
thing for them. Um, all these things that real, you know, work life balance and all these things that matter to living day to day, as opposed to, oh, I'm gonna be happy when I
Right.
retire and worked all these years. And it's just like, why do I have to live? Why do I have to live for that? Why can't I live for that now? You
100%.
know?
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
The new generation has it.
And I
They're gonna make sure if we don't get it, they're gonna do it.
they're gonna
Hmm.
crack the code. And that's the thing. I really want that to be available to everyone. Do I think I've cracked the code? Absolutely not. I still have stuff to deal with. But I know
I
I'm
think you've
definitely
cracked the code.
very
By
oh
just being an entrepreneur, you could have easily bought into the story of go to college, get a degree, work for a good company, retire after 30 years, take your 2 week vacation, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. You didn't buy into that story.
Well, no. No, and I agree. I agree with you. That's not. I can't. My soul would just
That's the fear
like
of death.
like I would feel when I had my last job. I felt my soul dying. It was just like my ancestors, my DNA was just like we did not fight for this.
Right. So
You
you
know what I
broke
mean?
the code. And now, yeah,
Right.
and
I
your
feel
daughter
you.
is seeing that you're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, you're a woman, you're a minority,
Yeah.
and you didn't
Yeah.
follow the norm. And not everybody
Right.
needs to do that. I get
Right.
it. But these are the things that I'm talking about breaking away from what society has taught you, following your gut. You just said your soul was dying. You
Mm.
recognize that. Instead of saying, well, no, I got these bills to
Mhm.
pay. I'm going
Mm.
to stay here and let my soul die.
Yeah. Oh, and I
Yeah.
have bills to pay.
But people don't make that choice. They literally will be like, I got bills to pay. So
No.
I'm going to keep stuffing down what I truly know is not in my
Mm.
alignment. I'm just going to keep doing it because
Yeah.
that's what I'm supposed to do.
And it breaks my heart. So this is the impact because I know some people in my family, they feel what's available to them is only what's in front
Hmm.
of them. You know what I mean? And it breaks
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
heart because it's just like that is not the way that this world, or at least my
Yep.
world, is set up. I feel like I generally can do whatever I want if I put the time and
Yeah.
effort and work for it. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
going to be handed to me. I'm going to
Of
have to do
course.
something for it. And so it breaks my heart when I hear, well, that's just the way it is. This is just the status quo, and that it just feel it's very negative,
And
one.
it's your mindset.
But there are a lot of people walking
Hmm.
around with that, and it just you got to protect yourself
Yes.
from that. On one hand, you have to recognize you can't
No.
change some folks. That's the one thing that I've recognized is that if you feel called to live a different way and walk a different path, and that path that hasn't been the
Right.
unknown path, and you're charting your own way, you're going to get some people who just
Hmm.
don't understand you, and you're going to have to
Hmm.
create your own light
Hmm.
in a lot of ways, in my
Yep.
opinion. You're gonna have to be your own
Hmm.
beacon of hope, um, and trust yourself. And that's a hard thing to do. It
It
really
is.
is. But that's why you go back to those self care um, things that we talked about to help balance
Yeah.
that out.
And
I
I
think.
think also when you made that shift, the energy
Hmm.
that you now exude because of it, even though you
Mm,
think those people are like, they don't think that they can have it in that, you're touching them. They're seeing it. Their
you're
energy is
right.
feeling your energy, and they're
Mm,
like, they may not act on it, and things of that nature, but your light now is brighter and bigger. And now
yeah.
you don't even have to say stuff to people. You just walking and being in your
Mm,
presence, they're gonna feel it. And I don't know if you've been around people when
mm,
you walk into a room, you're like, oh, I feel that person
hmm.
because they're in
Hmm.
alignment. They're just projecting out,
Yep.
their happiness, their joy, their confidence. They
They
have a
have a
presence.
presence. They have, and people will have it if
Yeah,
they're light or if they're
yeah.
dark. You know what I mean? You can feel it in the darkness too. Like, ooh,
But
it
also remember, you
shifted.
guys, the more light you
So,
are, the more darkness comes. The dark is attracted to the light.
mhm,
So
mhm,
that's when you
mhm,
really need to start protecting your energy at all costs. But I think
mm.
yeah, you broke the code, girl, and you are on your way.
Girl, I'm still figuring it out. Where the Da Vinci Code at? Because
Oh no, we're all still figuring out, but I just was like the shift, just the shift
I
I've seen
know.
in you because I met you when you were working your regular job. So, and
No.
I've definitely seen the
Mhm, mhm.
difference.
I felt it. You've
Well,
been a
thank
big
you.
part of that, by the way. You have. You have been such a big part of that, and I just think it's just it's important. It goes all back to, surrounding yourself by positive. I don't want to say positive people, but I don't even want to say like-minded people. It's
Oh
good
yeah.
to be challenged, I think. But what do I want to say? You got to protect your
Well, no,
energy. I don't know how to
it's
put it
very
any other
important to
way
surround
that
yourself with like-minded people.
yeah.
But those people will also be drawn to
Mhm.
you, and you will start attracting the people that need to come into your life. You're not going to have to really go out and
Mm,
seek it constantly. It's not a yeah, they'll
right.
start coming
You'll
in. You'll
start
be like, it's
yeah,
weird when everything is working the way it's supposed to and life is unfolding the way it's
girl.
supposed to.
Yes.
That's not to say that you're not going to have
Mhm.
challenges, y'all, but you'll feel very
No.
confident in what's happening. It will never feel like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I can't make it. I'm not. I don't know how to describe it, but when you're in alignment, everything flows.
I
Yeah.
100% agree with you. I feel like I'm in a place right now where I'm definitely in alignment, and things
Yes.
attract to you. Certainly, it ends up
Yeah.
like attracts like. And so, and certainly there's going to be moments of distraction.
Right. Totally.
But yeah, no, like attracts like, and things just kind of flow when you start becoming in alignment. And that
Hmm.
alignment can shift. I know I'm in a
Hmm.
season of alignment right now, and I'm very
Hmm.
grateful for that. And I'm open to wherever that may shift. Um, but yeah, you're absolutely right. When
It's
it's
on.
on,
It
it's like a
is.
perfect
Yes.
recipe. You know what I mean? It's like a little sprinkle of this and a little of that.
And it's those dark moments. And that's what I always want to try to remind people.
Mm,
When you're just in a bad space, just know that it doesn't last
mm.
forever. I promise you it doesn't.
It's
And it feels
temporary.
like it is. It's
Temporary.
not. And then you'll look back and you'll be like,
Nope.
damn, I was tripping that hard and it all worked itself out.
Yep.
If you could just remember that. And
Yep.
I know it's so hard when you're in the midst of it. You
Mhm.
got a bad, diagnosis from the doctor, and, or you lost your
Yep.
job, or, your teenage kids got into some trouble and now you got to figure out how to maneuver. Life throws things at you. But if you can always keep the
Mhm.
perspective that, okay, I'm going to make it through this. I've made it through the past stuff.
Mhm.
I can do this. It will completely help you.
Yep.
It really will. And then those darker days don't
Mm.
last as long. I noticed.
Nope. You're right. You're absolutely right. Once you reframe and understand that
Yeah.
all of this is temporary, you know what I mean? And even recognizing, this is happening, but this doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean it's happening to
Yeah.
me or defining me. You know what I mean? This is just something that's just gonna
Yep.
shift past me. Um, yeah, it really shifting your mindset will shift your
Totally.
energy.
Totally.
Definitely. Yeah.
It
It all
does.
starts
It
inside.
does.
It don't it
Yes.
always?
It
It
does.
all
The
goes back to that.
mindset and inside. I know everybody always wants us to ask us
Yeah.
all these questions, but that literally is the bottom line. We always circle back to that. We really do.
It
We
is.
get, I
It's
mean,
like
we have all these other tips. You could do this,
mhm.
this, and that. But at the end of the day, y'all, it's really your mindset and it's all on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all on you.
It's a life by
It's a
you.
life by you.
Exactly. But we're here to help
It's a
y'all
life
walk
by
them
you.
steps, hopefully answer some questions when you get hung up. But it is a life by you.
Yeah, it definitely is. I hope today's episode
Yeah.
was helpful as always. I always enjoy these chats. They're
Me
always
too.
helpful
Me
for
too.
me.
I love it.
Yeah. Make sure you guys leave us a review. We appreciate those.
Yes,
And
we
we will see
will.
you
Take
next week.
care.